Jadeveon Clowney is playing this week. So it's definitely going to hinder Seattle's pass rush overall. So as far as production-wise, I would be surprised if Carolina gets 7 points.
Wow.
That's what I'll say.
Okay. Damn, that's low.
I mean, for any defense that could get you 6 or more, that's definitely a win.
Okay. All right, we'll see what happens. And then his kicker got Wabi Gold. Not a bad kicker. You know, the San Francisco offense. They can move down the field, and then I don't think in the red zone they're that powerful to the point where it's like guaranteed that they're gonna score in the red zone. So that kicker is a pretty solid kicker to have.
You know, I actually like Robbie Gould. I think he's definitely going to get 10 points this week. I believe that he'll get at least 10 points, especially how 49ers offense has been moving the last half of the season. I'm pretty confident that Robbie Gould will get some points in.
Okay. That's a very bold statement about a kicker.
Well, if anything, one thing that I do know is definitely about kickers.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Lee John team. I said earlier, Lee John is ranked number 1. So let's look into his team. Let me give you guys some stats on Lee John and Victory Lap TMC playoff record. Lee John has only won 1 playoff game so far and lost 2. And Avery has won 1 and lost 1. His first playoff game came from last week's matchup against Game Blouses. So let's see if he can add another win to that playoff record.
Hey, to get your first playoff win this year, especially in a playoff scenario that you can possibly pull off, is not a bad start.
You're right. Okay, let's move on to Lee John team. He, as a quarterback, he got Deshaun Watson going up against Tennessee. He should eat a lot versus this defense.
Deshaun Watson is definitely one of the quarterbacks I would not worry about, considering the last 3 weeks he's not going up against a top 10 defense. So definitely not a quarterback that I'm going to be worried about as far as getting production from. I expect him to get something similar to what he did last week. Might be a little less as far as 3 points is concerned, but I should definitely see him just throw at least 3 touchdowns.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to Lee John running backs. He already got Mark Ingram, who already got him 22.60 points. And then he's also starting Miles Sanders going up against Washington. Those are pretty good. The fact that Mark Ingram already got him 22, and Miles Sanders is looking to have a pretty good game this week.
And considering the fact that Jordan Howard more or less is not going to be playing this week, so Miles Sanders is definitely going to get the majority of the touches. You have to keep in mind, considering he's not a person that I would give 20 touches to out the backfield, it's going to come down to how creative Philly's offense is going to be. Not only that, they're definitely going to be missing plenty of receivers as far as Nelson Aguilar. And there's another receiver that's going to be missing as well. Alshon Jeffrey. So they're basically only going to have 2 or 3 healthy receivers. So it's going to somehow Philly's going to have to manufacture some points. So most likely they're going to be giving to their tight ends plenty and often throughout the game. And most likely they're going to have to find a way to get some screen passes into Miles Sanders to move the ball, because don't get me wrong, Boston Scott is not a bad running back, but not a person that I'm willing to give more than 15 touches a game. especially if you have Miles Sanders that can basically do the job for you.
Okay. Well, I agree with that. Let's move on to Lee John receivers. He got Hopkins and Sutton.
Well, I definitely love DeAndre Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
He's what I like to call a consistent receiver. He can run every route in the tree. He can catch basically any ball thrown his way. His catch rate is just enormous. The only person that I would pick ahead of DeAndre Hopkins at receiver is Michael Thomas.
Okay.
That's probably the only one because Michael Thomas is the guy. But since these guys are on either these two rosters, we won't have to basically worry about him right now.
Yeah.
But for the most part, DeAndre Hopkins going up against Tennessee, I expect them to get at least 10 or 11 points.
Okay.
But if Deshaun Watson's throwing 3 touchdowns, I expect Hopkins to get one of them.
Okay.
And you know what happens when you have a quarterback and a receiver duo that's on the same team and they're pretty good? Those points start to double up pretty quick.
Mm-hmm. That's why Wesley trying to cash in on.
Yep, which is the same reason why you're starting Emmanuel Sanders and Jimmy Garoppolo.
Exactly.
I'm telling you, those double up points, I'm telling you, they can definitely hurt the opposing team really quick.
Uh-huh. Exactly.
At the very least, we're talking about 10 points right off the bat that's just being added to your score.
Facts. That is 100% true. And then his other one receiver is Sutton going up against Kansas City. Go ahead.
Courtland Sutton, he's just one of those players that you're just gonna have to start because he's basically that good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as of right now, I do see a couple players that Lee John is definitely going to end up switching. But we'll see. This is just preliminary as far as what we're looking at right now. But if you're asking me, there's definitely some players that he's definitely going to end up switching before Sunday at 1 o'clock. So that's something that I'm really aware about. But as of right now, Sutton's not a bad person to start. But based off the other players he has, I'm definitely going to be switching him. So other than that, Sutton's not a bad player. Travis Kelce, I don't think we really need to go into details as far as how good he is because if you have been watching football the last 3 years, well, I'm not going to basically fill that in for you. But what can I say? Travis Kelce, he's an all-pro tight end. Mm-hmm. And what you do with all-pro tight ends, you start them and you forget them.
Facts. Now, that is so true. I think you had Travis Kelce last year, right?
No, I actually had Zach Ertz last year.
Okay.
And he was balling.
Zach Ertz?
Yeah, he was balling during the playoffs. So when you have all pro tight ends, don't even think about benching them. You just got to keep them going.
You got to. So let's move on to. Go ahead.
One person that I'm definitely interested in right now is Raheem Mostert. I've been hearing a lot from Kyle Shanahan to the point that it's going to be hard for you to justify not getting him enough touches because he runs hard, and when he runs hard, he also runs efficient too. If you look at his rushing numbers, he's been very efficient. Honestly, the more touches he gets, the better he plays. You just have to keep that in mind as far as a head coach. The only bad part is, at the same time, you have 3 running backs that could basically do the same thing. One cut plays, but coming from a Kyle Shanahan type of offense, they run a lot of zone. So any of those 3 players can basically put the same exact points, but I think right now, Kyle Shanahan's going to stick with the hot hand. So I wouldn't be surprised that Raheem will start the rest of the season, but at the same time, he's still going to be giving up carries. But if I'm going to put my money on a running back, I'll definitely put it on Raheem, but I'm definitely going to temper my expectations because I don't expect them to keep putting up 20-point performances. I do not.
Okay, yeah, I feel like you're probably right about that. One thing I've been hearing a lot about Mostert recently. But isn't Matt Breida kind of like taking away from some of his carries?
Well, it's more like Raheem Mostert's taking away Matt Breida's carries.
Okay.
Because honestly, he basically surpassed him on a depth chart. And it's kind of like Tevin Coleman. He's basically like the starter by default because you're not going to pay a person X amount of money and you basically not going to start him. Mm-hmm. He's still going to be labeled as a starter, but just know that it's basically going to be a timeshare.
Mm. Okay. So do you feel like Wesley's taking a risk starting Mostert, or Mostert is going to get his points?
It's definitely going to be a risk. I don't know to what degree because you got to think about it. This is the 49ers running back platoon. Mm-hmm. All three of them could basically do the same thing, but knowing what I know as far as what the 49ers usually do, once a player starts becoming consistent, they're going to keep feeding them until either they start fumbling the ball or they just stop getting efficient carries as far as like 5-yard rushes, 4-yard rushes.
Okay.
So since he has the hot hand, you're just going to have to roll with it, especially go up against the Atlanta's defense. Playing an opportunity for all three running backs to get some production. It may not be all of them getting more than 10 points, but I definitely see at least two of them getting some protection. So it's either going to be Raheem Mostert and it's going to be Tevin Coleman that's going to be splitting the majority of the carries.
Okay. Understandable. So let's talk about Lee John's defense, New England, the A1 defense that has been really carrying this team throughout the regular season. I'm not honestly throughout the regular season, but through a good portion of the season. So let's see what this team can do in round 2 in the playoff. They're going up against a pretty easy offense, which is they're going against Cincinnati. So New England should be able to eat a lot this week.
I expect New England to get at least 8 points this week.
8 points, that sounds kind of low.
I mean, based off the last 3 weeks, how New England has been playing is basically pretty generous, if you ask me.
Okay. No, but
I'll say that.
I feel like they've been in the past 3 weeks. They have tough matchups. Like they had Dallas, Houston, and then Kansas City. So that's probably what been really not keeping them from doing what they've been doing in the first half of the season.
Yeah, that's true. And not only that, the last 2 weeks they've been going up against pretty good offenses, and they definitely got their butts handed to them.
Uh-huh.
But this will definitely be their bounce back game versus Cincinnati, because Cincinnati we're talking about. Cincinnati doesn't really scare anybody. I mean, even regardless of the cheating scandal that's going on this week, I still expect New England to get a pretty good victory.
Yeah, I do as well. Let me see. It's crazy how New England defense is averaging 15 points. That is crazy, though.
Yeah, they're basically putting up points like a running back one. That's crazy, if you ask me.
That is very crazy. All right, let's touch on Legion.